Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is a platformer battle royale. A game, or episode, of Fall Guys takes place over a series of rounds. In each round, you'll compete in a minigame such as a race or a last to survive challenge. Even before this game came out, the trophy hunters were freaking out about an impossible trophy. And that's what we're going to focus on here. Every single other trophy will come naturally while just having fun with the game. Even veteran status for qualifying in 500 rounds and star of the show for reaching max level in the season pass came way sooner than I was planning for. So we're going to focus on Infallible, the trophy for getting 5 episode wins in a row. As a disclaimer, there is an exploit for this trophy. If you quit fast enough before officially being eliminated, you won't get a loss and your streak will continue. I don't want to focus too much on this exploit as the developers already know about it and have said that they're planning to patch it soon. Instead, I want to focus on tips for just being good at Fall Guys. There's a number of resources out there like videos and walkthroughs, but there's also a ton of wrong information. So I want to draw attention to the things that I do that I don't see a lot of other people doing. Absolutely, the number one tip that I have for Fall Guys is to get your friends together. You'll have a much easier time qualifying in the team rounds if you have a squad of 4. And you'll have exponentially more fun if you're cracking jokes the whole way through. For specifically improving your individual skill, you should greatly value the dive mechanic. Pressing square in the air will cause your fall guy to dive forward. You recover way faster from a dive than you do from falling over, and you'll fall over from pretty much any height. So for example, let's look at an actual level. Seesaw. You should always dive on every seesaw. Make sure you dive towards the upper part of the seesaw. In almost all cases, you'll be able to get up. The only exception is the very, very most vertical seesaws. Dizzy heights. Don't jump at the beginning. Just run with the spinning platforms in the direction that they're spinning. If possible, you should stick to the outside as it gets tight in the center and people will slow each other down. Dodge the balls as you run forward, but if you don't have an easy path to avoid one, just tank the hit there. It doesn't slow you down all that much. At the second set of spinning platforms, try to take the right side as it's just a little bit faster. At the end, make sure to dive on each jump as it'll allow you to recover quickly if you accidentally fall over. The Whirlygig. The beginning of the Whirlygig is honestly a crapshoot. It's really reliant on other players not flying into you. But even the worst starts in Whirlygig should still allow you to qualify 100% of the time. At the first conveyor belt, you can jump and dive at the end in order to skip the large platform jump part. At the large fan, you should always go up the center. Stick to the farthest left that you can, and at the very top of the ramp, jump and quickly dive. Even if the fan hits you, you should still make it through. For the final part, just take it slow. You have more time than you think you do because people are really awful here. Stay on the circular platform for a while if you have to wait for an opening in the last fan. Rock and roll. Unlike a lot of other game types where there are a lot of things that you should do, rock and roll has a lot of things that you should never do. Never grab your teammates, and you don't need to grab the ball to roll it, so just run at it. Never run ahead of your team, thinking that you're going to block the opponent's ball. It is always faster to just have your whole team pushing 100% and plow over the enemies who are trying to do the same thing. Egg Scramble. If you're playing on a team of 4, you should have this game won every single time. Split up between offensive and defensive players. For defensive players, don't waste time hanging out in the basket and holding onto your golden egg. The opponents will just pull out all your regular eggs and you'll lose anyway. Instead, stay on the top platform of your base and grab anyone who tries to jump out. No matter what you actually wind up grabbing, if it's an egg, a person, or even someone else on your team who's also defending, you'll typically block the egg from actually getting out, and most of the time it'll bounce back in. Offensive players have 2 roles. One player will sit in the basket and toss the eggs out. Remember that if you jump, dive, and throw all in one action, you will launch the egg out of the basket and prevent anyone from blocking you. The other offensive player will grab the tossed out eggs and run them back to your base. If you have less players, or even if you're solo, the strategy will still work, but obviously it's less effective. Hoarders. Remember that you don't have to win, you just have to not be last. The number one mistake in Hoarders is that nobody ever plays defense. You want to have 2 balls and you want to keep them. If you have less than 2 points, go on offense. But if you have to, stay on defense and focus on keeping them. Let the rest of your team run off and find more if they want to, but you can't be knocked out of this game if you have to. Hexagon. Everybody who plays Hexagon thinks they're a three-dimensional chess grandmaster because they saw a video where a guy shot down to the bottom and clears out the last level. Let all your stupid opponents do that. The goal here is to go as slow as possible. You want to make every hex last. That means jumping between different hexagons and making them work for you. At the start, if you have open spots on the initial 20 hexagons next to you, jump to as many of those as you can. This will allow you to plot where you're going to fall. You want to be mindful of where you're going to drop to the next level at all times, because other players are going to go faster than you, so it'll already be broken up. The only times you want to go fast is when you're cutting somebody off or when you need to prevent someone from cutting you off. At those times, go full speed in order to make sure they fall. And that's all the tips I have. If you're reading the forums, people will tell you that this game is 99% luck. But in my experience, that's wrong. With enough skill, you'll regularly be getting 3 and 4 win streaks naturally until eventually the platinum is yours. Good luck out there, Fall Guys. This platinum wouldn't have been possible without the helpful tips, encouragement, and blatant carrying from members of the Coffee Cove, which is a trophy hunting Discord server run by the YouTuber Lawless Llama. It's an incredibly nice and helpful community who strive to encourage everyone who's going after trophies. I have a link to both the Discord server and his YouTube channel in the description. In particular, I want to thank members of the Chicken Squad, which is the Fall Guys crew that I've been rolling with. Specifically, Meso and the Chief Chicken, known as That Mutt Guy. Most of the tips in this video originally came from them, and they really carried me through pretty much every round of Fall Ball that we've ever played together. For proof, just look at Meso's video of her leading the squad to a 24-0 victory. It's a glorious sight to behold.